Making $1 million a year in business isn't actually as hard as you may think. I'll prove it to you. And no, we aren't going to be talking about any get-rich-quick businesses. So there will be no mention of MLM or drop shipping or Amazon FBA. What we're going to talk about are 5 businesses that are as legit as you can get. These businesses all use the same exact business model, but in different industries. But what exactly does it mean to make $1 million a year in business? Everywhere you look online, you'll see someone talking about how they make 1 million or 5 million bucks, but there's a lot of confusion and just a general lack of transparency when it comes to numbers being thrown around. The conversation really comes down to sales and profits. When you hear a business makes $1 million a year, someone with some business experience under their belt probably assumes that that's $1 million in sales, not profit. Then you have all of your expenses like paying employees and rent and the cost of your product and administrative costs and so on. After you subtract all of your business expenses, that leaves you with something called net income, aka profit. So profit is what's left after all of your expenses. And according to the Corporate Finance Institute, a 20% profit margin is considered good, 10% average, and 5% is considered low or poor. Now, hold on. You may be thinking, what? Only 20% profit margins? No way my favorite guru online is making 20% profit margins. Well, a lot of it depends on the industry and how you run your business. But that's going down a rabbit hole that is another video for another time, so make sure you're subscribed and let me know if you want me to make a video on profit margins below in the comments. Now I'll add another category to it and say that above the good category is the excellent category with profit margins between 25 and 30%. So when most people say, my business makes $1 million, they're talking about sales and not profit. And to set the proper expectations for this video, we are talking about sales and not profit. But with the grid of 5%, 10%, 20, and 25 to 30%, you get the idea. So let's dive into these 5 businesses. Off to you, Tariq. Thanks, Tariq. What they all have in common is that they are franchising. Now, franchising is the most proven business model in history. Why do I say that? Well, it's been around since 1891, so over 100 years. There are over 4,000 different franchise brands in every industry that you can imagine. There are over 750,000 different franchise businesses, and according to the United States Census Bureau, 1 out of every 10 business is a franchise. So really, franchising is the ultimate business in a box. It's like going to IKEA and getting a business. Now, after watching, you could be well on your way to building your very own franchise empire. So let's dive into number 1. Actually, I almost forgot. So when you hear franchises, what businesses pop in your head? Exactly. Most people think McDonald's or Taco Bell or Burger King. Those are all $1 million plus to get open. So when I say low cost in franchise speak, well, I'm talking $200,000 or less. What the $200,000 isn't low cost, dude? Hold on, I know. Franchises are one of the easiest businesses to get loans for. So most people can get an SBA loan and put 20% down. So to get a $200,000 franchise up and running, you need to have access to about $40,000. So these businesses are all $200,000 and less. All right, back to number 1. So this business costs between $140,000 and $200,000 to get up and running. Now this business makes an average of just over $1 million. It's budget blinds. Yeah, it's not a sexy business, but it's highly effective. Budget blinds is an OG in the franchise space, and I'd say they are one of the most proven and stable concepts that are out there. So they've been around since 1992 and have over 1,200 franchises operating, which out of the 4,000 franchises puts them in the top 0.01% in terms of size. So a good buddy of mine owns 5 territories and does over $5 million a year in sales, which is pretty cool. He only works like 20 hours a week. I actually did a podcast episode with him and he breaks it all down. Comment below if you want the link to that episode. Now, these numbers are all from the end of 2022, which is the most recent public filings that's available for budget blinds. So for franchisees that own 2 territories, they show an average annual sales of over $1.4 million for the franchisee. For franchisees that own only 1 territory, they show an average annual sales of $905,000. Now, if you want to know if there are any budget blinds available in your area and you want to learn more about the business, you can go to franchiseempire.com/check territory. Our team at Franchise Empire will be able to check on that for you at no cost. It's on the house. So number 2 is 5-Star Bath Solutions. So they do turnkey bathroom remodels and tend to be more affordable and can be done in 1 to 3 days. So they've been around since 1996, but they didn't start franchising until 2008, which if you think about it, it's a crazy time to start franchising a business. 2008, the financial world was having a major meltdown. What I like about this business is that they were operating the business successfully for 12 years before they started franchising. Again, it's a business in a box. 12 years might be enough time to get all the systems down and know how to duplicate success at a business. I'm being sarcastic. 12 years is plenty of time. Now, one of our clients, Devin, actually purchased a 5-Star Bath franchise. And before that, he was looking at like ATMs and Amazon FBA and all kinds of other get rich quick kind of businesses. And instead, he did the smart thing and he took the unsexy route, which has been working out pretty well for him. He told me the other day he's booked out with installations for a few weeks. Cool. So what will one of these bad boys cost in terms of investment to get up and running? For a single unit, it's between $113,000 and $253,000, which includes a franchise fee of $59,900. For a multi-unit, which means owning multiple territories, is between $187,000 to $366,000, which includes a franchise fee of $99,500. Or more, depending upon how many territories you buy. Now in 2022, for franchisees that were open all year long, they averaged $1.4 million in sales with an average of 2 territories. Again, if you want to see if they have availability in your area, you can go to franchiseempire.com/check territory. All right, number 3. This next brand is a company called The Brothers That Just Do Gutters. They do exactly what it sounds like. Gutter installation and cleaning. It's really an interesting business because they offer installation, which has a nice upfront revenue, along with cleaning services that can turn into a recurring revenue or repeat business. Now they range from $143K to $205K to get open. The average franchisee does $1.2 million in sales with an adjusted profit of a whopping $392,000. Third time's a charm here. You can go to franchiseempire.com/check territory if you want to see if they are available in your area. All right, so number 4 is Superior Fence and Rail. So in 2021, the owner, who had a whopping 0 experience in the fencing business, bought a small fencing company. He grew to 9 corporate locations and then started franchising in 2017. So guys, this is another company who operated successfully for 16 years before they started franchising. That's a long time of knowing what works and getting a lot of mistakes out the way to really be able to help franchisees like you be successful. Now, the investment to get open is between $130K to $206K, which includes a franchise fee of $59,500. As of September 2022, they had 30 franchisees that had been operating a full 12 months, and the average of their bottom third of franchisees was $1.1 million in sales. The average of all 30 was $2.8 million in sales, with only 2 of those franchisees owning more than 1 territories, which is honestly pretty gangbuster numbers. Usually it takes 2 or 3 territories to be able to hit numbers like that. And in 2022, they had 19 new franchisees operating a full year, and they averaged $2.2 million in sales. Do I even need to mention franchiseempire.com/check territory? All right, let's go on to number 5, which is CertaPro Painters. CertaPro is another just solid player in the franchise space. They've been around since 1992, and because they've been around so long, there are actually a good amount of resales available. We actually have a client in the process of buying an existing CertaPro franchise that is making high 6 figures in profit. Now, a new CertaPro investment ranges from $192K to $302K, which includes a franchise fee that's a little bit on the higher side at $65,000. What's cool, I actually talked with someone with CertaPros pretty high up, and they actually really support their franchisees a lot. They do profit and loss statement reviews with them. I've heard a lot of really good things about CertaPro. So the average year 1 for brand new franchisees is $541,000 in sales. Year 2 average for new franchisees is $684,000 in sales. But in 2022, the average sales of all their franchisees was over $2.1 million. There were over 167 franchisees operating more than 2 years, and their average sales were $2.3 million. All right, back to you, Tariq. Dang, Tariq, that's incredible news there. Well, how's that for boring business? This is why you got to stay on your toes, because I'm gonna change things up on you. If you wanna find out if there is an existing CertaPro franchise for sale that is already making money, you can go to franchiseempire.com/resales and the team will check all resales that are available in your area, and yes, at no cost. Now you may think, hey Tariq, that's great and all, but how do I get the capital to get one of these bad boys opened? Well, I'm glad you asked. So right here, I did a complete franchise funding guide where I break down all the different ways that you can get funding for a franchise. And for those of you who want to go deeper into how the franchise industry works, then you can check out my free franchise masterclass on the 4 best franchise buying strategies, which is in the link in the description below. Peace.